Good morning, dear students. I am Ms. NAVEDA SHAIKH from Brahan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika MCGM virtual class. I welcome all my dear students to another and interesting session. In today's session, we'll be learning something new and interesting from a science textbook. So let's get started.
So the topic for today is substances in daily use. Let's get started. Now when you see substances and objects around you, you look at them and you identify which is it and what is it named. Like here you can see a chair, you can see a vase, you can see a table, you can see a cupboard. Now these are a few objects that you see in your house every day, right? Now these objects that are there, they are all made up of certain substances. Now what are these substances? These substances are further made up of very small particles. Now if you look at the soil, these are very minute, there are very minute particles in soil which helps us to understand that any substance that is there, it is made up of very small particles. Alright, so these particles of soil, when they come together, they help us to make a vase like this. Now if I talk about substance, I said that substance से हम लोगों के objects बनते हैं. So if I have a wooden log, इससे कौन से objects बन सकते हैं? We could have a door, we could have a table or a chair. Alright, so substances से objects create हैं. And there are few more examples like iron. Iron से क्या object बनेंगे? We will have railway tracks, steel rods are there. Then you have you have iron sheets over there, which you make use of in your houses, okay, as the roof. Then we make use of iron in your school gates that you see. It is made up of iron. Then another substance that we're talking about is copper. Copper is also used in many appliances like electrical appliances, which the wire that is there, it has copper in it. Okay, it is a good conductor, so that is why copper is used in it. There are some coins also which make use of copper material. Alright, there are certain instruments in a house where you require copper fittings in it. So copper substance है और copper से objects बनते हैं. Soil say with the help of soil is a substance, and with soil we can make various types of pots, and you can see jars over there. These are all made up of mud that is available from the soil, and these are all the objects that are made from the substance. Aluminium sheet. Aluminium sheet is a substance, and from the aluminium sheet we make various objects like the utensils that you use in your house, the aluminium foil that you use to wrap your food. There are certain wires which make use of aluminium inside it, and you have your cookers which are made up of aluminium. There are materials around us, and we come to know about them with the help of the things which you can see in them. Like suppose if you're talking about a metal like gold or the coins that you use, you say that they are strong, they are shiny, right? We have learned in our previous chapters about metals and non-metals. We can say that they are good electrical conductors. We also make use of scissors, which are also made up of metals. We have seen plastic. Now how do you identify plastic? You know that plastic is transparent, right? हम लोग प्लास्टिक की bottles होती है हमेशा उसके आर पार हम लोग easily देख सकते हैं. Even if it is colored also, you can still see things behind it, right? They are transparent, it is waterproof, it is strong. So every substance or every object that you see around you has certain properties in them. These properties help us to identify what and which type of a substance it is. Like if you see a glass, if you see a window, when you see the window, what do you notice? That it is made up of glass or it is made up of wood. Now that glass, how do you come to know it is glass? Because the property is it is transparent, it is strong. Alright. Then you take example of a chair or a table. which is made up of wood. Now, how do you come to know? There are a few properties of wood which help us to identify them. Like wood is strong, right? It is strong, it is sturdy, it can withstand high temperatures also. Same way you have fabrics also that you wear, and there are different fabrics that you wear according to the season. Now, why do you wear it according to the season? Different seasons, like summer we wear cotton clothes. When it is winter, we make use of sweaters also, which are made up of wool. Other than that, if you have rainy season, we make use of raincoats, which are made up of plastics. So every material that is there around you has certain properties which makes it different from the other. Alright, so let's learn more about it. So with this, we have understood that substances and objects are two different things. Substances, बहुत सारे substances मिलके एक object बनता है. Same way, if I talk about cotton, cotton is a substance. From cotton, you can get cloth, fibers or thread, saris, handkerchief, quilts, mattresses, pillows, etc. Same way, if I talk about iron, iron is helpful in construction of steel bars, parts of automobiles, electrical poles, table, cupboard, etc. Okay, so iron is also extremely important in various objects that we make use of in our day-to-day life. The next one is aluminium. Aluminium is used as kitchen utensils and electrical cables also. This brings us to the next part, that is the natural substances. Now, substances can be of two types. Okay, the ones which are present naturally, as we have learned about natural resources, same thing. The things which are present naturally are called as natural substances. Here, leather, the jute rings that you see, wool, soil, gold, copper, iron, these all substances occur naturally. इससे कोई भी चीज को इंसान ने नहीं बनाया है. So these are natural substances. Now, natural substances can be further divided into two parts: biotic substances and abiotic substances. Now remember, हमारे आसपास में, हमारे environment में बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो हमारे use में आती है, and some are called as biotic substances and some are called as abiotic substances. Now, biotic और abiotic में difference क्या है? Biotic substances are obtained from living things. ठीक है? Biotic means, bio means जिंदा, living organisms. Okay, so substances obtained from the living things. For example, you get wool or you get jute from the plants, and that is also a living thing, right? So the next one we have is substances that are not obtained by living things. So that is gold or soil, aluminium, copper. There are various names that you can list. Okay, so abiotic factors means non-living things. Which you get things from non-living things, those of substances are called as abiotic substances. Just remember the example, you will remember about it today. So here you can see that you have a leather bag, you have cotton balls, you have wood. Now, all these things you get it from either animals or you get it from plants. Like if I talk about leather, you get it from animals. If I talk about cotton or wood, you get it from plants, right? And there are various processes with which they undergo and you get these products. We will be learning that as well. Now here you see that the leather or the wool that you're getting, it is from the animals, right? So such type of things are called as animal origin. They are of animal origin. The next examples here we have is cotton and a wooden log. Now both the things are important, right? And we get it from which are animal? It is not animal, we get it from plants. Okay, एनिमल से जो चीज़ें मिलती हैं उसे हम लोग एनिमल ओरिजिन कहते हैं, और जो प्लांट से मिलती है उसे हम लोग प्लांट ओरिजिन कहते हैं. So jute and cotton are substances of plant. Now it is here you can see a water bottle, set of water bottles, right? These are bottles which are made of plastic. Now, as we know that plastic was not available naturally, but because human nature is such, it keeps on trying new things and it tries to make life more comfortable. So as a result of the efforts, man not only learned to use natural substances but also began to process them to make new substances. Okay, So there are several such substances which are easier to use and can be made available in plenty at low cost. So here you can see water bottles as compared to the glass bottles. If you use in your refrigerators, the glass bottle tends to break also. But these bottles are quite durable. You can, and they are light also. अगर हम लोग के पास कांच की बॉटल है तो हम लोग उसे बैग में आराम से लेके नहीं जा सकते because it is heavy also and you have to be careful as well. But if I talk about plastic bottles are very easy to carry. They are light in weight and that is the reason it is used in a large scale. Same way we have different utensils and different objects in our houses which are made up of natural substances. They have been processed. सिर्फ उसे chemical process के through डाला गया है ताकि एक नया substance हम लोगों को मिले. So new substances produced by processing naturally available substances are called man-made substances. Okay, so very simple definition for man-made substances. Any new substances produced, okay, when you're doing certain thing. Earlier, the scientists or the chemists, they used to perform various experiments and they used to see what they have got. So you can also do that, but not by yourself. You can take help of your parents or your teachers and perform various experiments. So new substances which are produced by processing naturally available substances are called man-made substances. Now a few examples of man-made substances here you can see. Now there is this lady which is planting the rice plant into the soil. Okay, and because it is a rainy season, she has covered her entire body with the help of a cape-like structure or earlier irlis or cap made of grass or sackcloth were used for protection from rain. Okay, so this is a protection. It is like a raincoat in those earlier days. Okay, तभी प्लास्टिक इन्वेंट नहीं हुई थी तो उन लोग अपने आप को जूट की गोनी से या फिर उन लोगों को they used to make use of various items which are naturally available in order to cover themselves and protect them from rains. But nowadays we make use of umbrellas, right? Now, umbrellas are very durable. They are light in weight. Anybody can hold it, carry it. They come in different colors and sizes, which makes it more easier for us to use. So we have another example of how the raincoats are also important for the in our day-to-day life in order to protect ourselves from the rainy season. So this brings us to the end of man-made material, and a few examples are plastic, metals and glass. There are various delicate articles like cup saucers or television sets. These are all very delicate items because there are parts which are very delicate inside which need protection while transportation. So there are big cartoons which are filled in with thermocols which are used. All these are man-made substances. Okay, so there are even fruits which are covered with thermocols or cardboard in order to protect them from any harm which could be caused while transportation. So these substances are like thermocol or the plastic. These are all waterproof items. Okay, or water resistant. मतलब उसके ऊपर पानी गिरेगा तो अंदर उसके खराब चीजें नहीं होंगी या फिर there are certain plastic तो waterproof होता है. Thermocol is water resistance means it does not allow water to get inside the item which is there. Okay, they are light in weight. You must have seen how light in weight thermocol is and how easy to transport it is. Okay, so that is why they are being used increasingly in our day-to-day life. Now you must have seen a strawberry turning red. Now can you turn this strawberry back into green color? So the answer is no. If you see, there are various examples like the green chilies that you see here. Okay, it is turning red. Now again this red color green chili, you cannot turn it green in color, right? So these examples that I'm showing you are helping us to understand that there are certain reactions which cannot be reversed. मतलब अगर ये green से red हो रहे हैं tomatoes तो हम लोग इसे फिर से green नहीं कर सकते. So such type of changes are called as irreversible changes. Alright. So there are certain chemical changes which are going on, whether it is living thing or non-living thing. There are certain chemical changes in the living things which are going on which makes it irreversible. ठीक है, वो change को irreversible उसको हम लोग फिर से ठीक नहीं कर सकते, पहले जैसे नहीं कर सकते. Alright, same thing happens with man-made materials also. While man-made materials like glass, paper, if you talk about rubber, these are all man-made substances and they undergo various chemical changes, and that is the reason they are so durable and they are so easily available to us, and they can be used in so many ways. Now let's have a look as to how glass can be made from sand and calcium carbonate. Okay, so however, sand and calcium carbonate cannot be obtained again from glass. It is because of the irreversible chemical change that has happened between sand and calcium carbonate. So let's have a look how glass is made. Now plate glass can be made in two different ways, by rolling method, by floating method. First we'll see how rolling method is done. Sand, lime and soda are mixed together in a furnace to make liquid glass. Rollers are used to flatten the glass into sheets, which are first rolled then cut. Okay, so they are cut like this. Then the floating method is liquid glass from a furnace is floated and slowly cooled on the surface of liquid till after the glass has cooled off, it is cut into pieces. Now there are other items also used like alumina, lead oxide, potassium nitrate, zinc oxide and base glass, coated glass, which gets converted into plate glass by heating it at a very high temperature. These glasses, we make use of these glasses in order to make vases, ornaments and intricate glass objects by a blower. The glass blower that helps to make such articles. We also have glass which are made which are used in our houses as window pans, mirrors, which makes our house more beautiful. Right? Sometimes they are even stained in colors. I hope this is quite useful. Now there was a scientist named as Charles Goodyear. Now by accident, he spilled a mixture of rubber and sulfur on a burning stove. After the stove was extinguished, he noticed that the rubber had become harder and less elastic. Okay. He repeated this experiment in a systematic way and invented the process of vulcanization. Hard and tough tires of rubber made then brought about a revolutionary change in transportation. The tires that we make use in our vehicles are made up of by this method only, by vulcanization. Let's have a look how it is. Now the production of substances, the first one that we're talking about is rubber. As I told you that rubber is very important in our day-to-day life. Rubbers are of two types, natural and artificial. Natural rubber is obtained from the gum or sap of trees. This sap is called latex and the rubber has a peculiar odor and it is white in color. The vulcanization process of rubber involves the rubber is heated with sulfur for 3 to 4 hours to give it hardness to the rubber. Sulfur is mixed in it. Okay, so in order to make it hard, sulfur is mixed with rubber. The proportion of sulfur in the mixture is determined by the purpose for which it is being used. ठीक है, अगर उसे ज़्यादा इलास्टिक बनाना है तो सल्फर कम ऐड किया जाता है, अगर उसे ज़्यादा टफ बनाना है तो सल्फर की क्वांटिटी ज़्यादा होती है. Erasers, rubber balls, rubber toys all have varying properties of sulfur in them. In rubber band, the proportion of sulfur is very small. So now I'll be showing you all a video on how the natural rubber is prepared. So let's have a look.
Today we make thousands of useful things from the fluid that circulates through rubber trees. Everything from tires to balloons to boots. The seeds are sown on plantations like this one in Thailand. It takes several years for the rubber trees to mature. Then the sap is ready to tap. In the coolness of the morning when the sap flows freely, the farm worker slashes the bark with a hooked blade. The sap oozes from the abrasion. It spills onto a metal spout inserted below the slashed section. The spout funnels the sap into a ceramic cup below. It flows for about 5 or 6 hours, partially filling the cup. They wait a couple of days for the tree to recover and then tap another section of the tree. After straining impurities, they pour the rubber sap into a plastic tub. They add formic acid and squish it around. The acid causes the sap to coagulate. After 15 to 30 minutes, it thickens to the consistency of tofu. This tofu-like sap has a sticky structure that allows it to now be rolled out like dough. The rolling squeezes out excess water and leaves a ribbed pattern on the sheets that increases the surface area to hasten drying. Then they rinse off the formic acid. They hang the rubber sheets to dry for about 5 hours. As they dry, the rubber thickens and becomes stronger, and the color darkens.
Alright, so with this we move on to the next type of production of substance, that is paper. So how manufacturing of paper is done, let's have a look at it.
Hope this session was quite useful to you. In the next coming period, we'll learn something.
If you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel and do not forget to hit the like button.
Useful to you. In the next coming period, we'll learn something new and interesting. Till then, thank you.